right, y'all. Nick Cannon here. Close conversations with Nick Cannon. I got the honorable, good Bishop in the building. It's going down. Bishop Magic Don Juan. How you doing, church?
Hey, it's still green for the money and gold for the ain't nothing changed. You dig?
You dig? Ain't it, man?
Gotta do it.
You got to. Somebody else will.
Or somebody that's willing to do it.
Yeah, you know, I always say we blessed and highly favored with more flavor than Annihilator.
Ooh, we with them gators on. Hey, my man. Now we getting woke now.
Yeah, we getting all the way woke. The chairman of the board, the Archbishop Don Juan. Now, honestly, I wanted to just chop it up with you, man, because you have some great stories every time we talk, but you also got some great game and some great life lessons that you can, bestow on this generation. So I feel like every time we get a chance to chop it up, man, I wanna enlighten the people in a fun way, but at the same time, we really want to touch on some serious concepts based off of life, because you lived quite the life, man, and I want to be able to just give people a brief synopsis of your journey, because you went everywhere from Chicago to doing your thing in the streets out there to all the way to Hollywood, but at the same time you've been an ordained minister, you've been an entertainer. So where did it all start? Because I've heard different stories, but I mean, from seeing the classic documentaries that you've been a part of, it sounds like it's humble beginnings and on the west side of Chicago, right?
Yes, it was the best side, and it's very humble beginning. You know what I mean? Like coming up west side, to start it off, and I think what really escalated my journey is because I stayed with my father like the first 8 years of my life.
Right.
My father had took me away from my mother. I asked my mother later in years, I said, how could he do that? I said, wasn't it polices and people? And she said, yes. She said, but your father had money. Mm-hmm. So I guess at a time in the 50s, a black man have a little money, I guess he could do a few things. My father wasn't even able to read or write, but he had 3 buildings, an ice cream parlor, and a restaurant, soul food restaurant. So I came up on the strip. He had it right there on Madison Street. Across the street was the old Chicago Stadium.
Yeah.
So, I'm just, getting familiar with everything that was going on. So after my father died, I come to live with my mother. Now, ain't no money nowhere. 6 and 7 more brothers and sisters. Now, player got to figure out how to get it on his own.
How to get it on his own.
It ain't like when daddy was here in the restaurants and everything.
Right.
And moms ain't got it. She on welfare.
Right.
You know what I mean? So after, I became a pimp and everything, I really blessed my mother, because after coming from my father, I put a lot of stress and pressure on her because
your mother.
I wanted so much
Right.
that I was getting from my father, and I couldn't get it from her.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like I said, it ain't that many choices in the inner cities, you know what I mean? We try to make the best choices we can. Either you're going to be a pimp, a dope dealer, a car thief, stick-up man.
You actually said in one of the documentaries, it was like, wasn't no doctors and lawyers in my neighborhood, the pimps and the players. These was my role models.
Well, every day sitting on the porch, I'm not seeing a doctor or lawyer go to work.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some live guy with a slick suit on, with diamonds on, with 3-4 girls, and getting in a big fine Cadillac car. Now I'm saying this is what I wanted to be when I grow up. I mean, the image looked good to me. It was the best image that I could see.
Right.
I didn't see anything else. Other than, the hood of selling drugs or stepping over the dead. Had the opportunity to see people that was shot and killed right before my eyes and things.
Yeah.
And so after staying with my mother, and like I said, it wasn't that many opportunities, and I didn't want to hurt nobody, so I didn't want to be a stick-up man.
Right.
I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be a dope dealer.
Right.
Because I know you have to take chances. You got to kill somebody or be killed.
Yeah.
So it was even at that time I was thinking about still staying in my lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So after my sister told me, hey, man, the girls at school like you, and, I manipulated off that. I started very early.
Yeah, and you said once you got a chance to read Iceberg Slim, which is actually a movie that I'm getting ready. Myself and Birdman, we got the rights to it. So I've studied, you know, Iceberg Slim's book and everything, and I feel like there's a great film to be made there. But that book, those stories inspired a generation, and someone like you, once you read that book, did it turn it on for you?
Hey, once I read that book, it was off and running. And, you know, even though we speak on this, I was a book reader.
Yeah.
I read the Donna Goins, the Iceberg Slim, the Stonewall Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, Scrappy Dan, Gentleman of Leisure. I mean,
Yeah.
I read because I know reading give knowledge, and I read what I wanted to be involved in.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking on Iceberg Slim, it's still history there. And like you said, this would touch some of the younger of today. I had the opportunity of, you know, appearing in his documentary.
Yeah.
And also, you know, I know his daughter personally.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I met Iceberg Slim.
Oh, wow.
One time, it was a club I used to go to. And then when I told the gentleman doing the documentary, he said, it's funny you to say that because everybody said that was the only place he hung at. It was a club on La Brea and Washington. Right now, it's the post office. You know, it was called a Parisian Room, and it was like the Red Hawk Trio, a little jazz band, and Iceberg used to always come there all the time.
Wow.
You know, and they gave me an award, as a matter of fact, there. You know, it was some people like Gertrude Gibson, these people that used to really be into the end with Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know, and Iceberg Slim, he came by there, and I had that tune, and that was like, wow, man. It was, you know, I mean,
yeah.
it was the closest thing I know was getting to heaven, meeting Iceberg Slim.
There it is, man.
And so it was such amazing. And even in that club, I met people like Stymie from the Little Rascals.
Yeah.
You know,
you got Stymie from the Little Rascals?
Yeah, LaWanda Page.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And, you know, them was friends at the time. And this was early 70s, like I said, 74.
So you ended up going, you know, doing your thing, getting into the life in Chicago, running it out there, then coming to Hollywood in the 70s. And then from the pimp stick to the pulpit, which is the name of your book, how did you go from pimping to preaching?
Well, it was a total conversion. I mean, I was on top of my gang. I was still considered the number one pimp in the gang. And you know what I mean? I thought I was really on it. You know, I used to say pimp or die, and I really thought I felt that way.
Right.
And man, once God showed me this experience, you know, that he really do exist, I mean, it was just like a total shock. I'd have never, you know, experienced anything like it before.
But at one time, wasn't it say it was a revelation while you was on PCP when you was like, I'm gonna go all the way in?
Well, it was at the time I was smoking some PCP, yeah. But the thing about it is, the illusion told me
That's
to
what
get.
you said in your book. I was
Yeah,
like,
but it told me to get rid of everything.
Right.
Get rid of all of flush it down the commode, everything. And it something told me to turn on the television.
Remind me not to do no PCP because I ain't flushing everything down the toilet.
Well, it's one of them drugs that you use, you know, for animal tranquilizer. I was dumb enough to put it in my brain. I thought I was doing something slick.
Right.
But then I'm glad that if it was part of helping me make the transformation, that I'm glad that it took place. You know, that God has come into my life. And after that, I spent like 8 years in a Bible school, Moody Bible Institution, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
And it's considered the number 2 Bible school in the whole country.
Wow.
And, you know, I was able to get there, and then they used to take me to speak to their whole student body. God told me in 3 years he was going to give me a church. I pastored a church.
You pastored a church? For how long?
I pastored a church for 3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
Coming to the Good Bishop's Church.
Man, we had a full house. We had anniversaries.
In Chicago?
In Chicago. We had anniversaries every year. But the thing about it is, I wasn't stuck in the church. I was going all over. I was going to the Korean. I was going to the African people.
Right.
I mean, they were sending me on revivals.
And then and I'm going to say this as respectfully as I can possibly say it, but a lot of people believe that the church and the streets, it ain't too much different when you got a very flamboyant leader and figure in front leading and controlling the congregation just like he leads and controls his stable. Is it the same world? Are you using the same gifts? And one is just, I mean, you bring in pleasure and to the community from both walks of life. So, I mean, are you a fine example, or is this like the true exemplary method of yo, if you can pimp, you can also pastor?
Well, no, but it's got a lot to do with leadership. And then not
See
only
how he just put that game on you.
well,
made
I
it
mean,
smooth.
being able to lead, so, and not only that, they both begin with a P. So they're very similar in that instant. You know what I mean? And, not only that, one save and one help. I say this in this way. I said because as a pimp, I kept my girls off of drugs. I used to take them to the medical center, get checkup.
Right.
I mean, I was doing things. They made
You was
sure
providing for the community.
Well, giving them awareness that even though whatever the situation was, you still had to live a life.
You covered that.
You still had to live a life. But then, as being a pimp and a preacher, it have to be a change. You know what I mean? Because you learn not to do things the same way. You have to do it in a different way.
Right.
You have to be a little bit more compassion when you was really dogmatic in a
Right.
situation where it was my way as a pimp or no way. When it become Jesus' way or it ain't no way.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's just getting to understanding. And what I have learned to know that, and I taught it, that you'll know anybody by the fruit that they bear.
Right.
Don't judge me by my outfit. Judge me by the work that I do. Have I saved lives? Have I changed lives? Have I made a difference since the change? The history say I have.
There it is.
Statistics say I have.
And then how did we get back into or the so-called life after pastoring a church for 3 years and then to become the archbishop that we know today?
Well, one thing about it is when God can use you, you don't know the journey. You just follow.
You just follow.
You just follow. You have no control over that. As a matter of fact, I could say I was with the King of Kings in Chicago, the Vice Lord, Willie Lord.
Yeah.
Ministering to him. He stopped by my church a few times, getting slack from the police. What is he telling you? I said, I don't sit in no meetings with him, but I counsel him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that. Even my mother.
And it's the law that when you're counseled by someone in the
that know that been there and done that.
then that they can't come and give you a subpoena, none of that type of stuff, because this is mentoring, this is counseling. So you could talk to the street cast, the criminals, and they can confide in you because they know you ain't gonna snitch or none of that.
Well, I didn't spoke in jails and spoke in college and different academies because I can relate. I even tell people, hey, I've been here once. I know what you're going through.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they can relate to me because they know this wasn't nothing learned in the book. This was something that I learned in hard knocks life on the street.
Right.
And I was able to live and survive that life.
Yeah.
And be able to do something on and be relevant as I was in the 70s,
Yeah.
but doing it in a different way, getting a different message.
Now-
Once been part of the problem,
Right.
not trying to be part of the solution. I mean, doing it in a way that people know that, like most people get my book, they say I'm not no pimp, but your book saved my life. Your book helped me. It gave me awareness, understanding. These doctors, lawyers, working men saying these things.
Preach.
So it just happened to be a pimp wrote it, but it was good knowledge, good game.
Good game.
Yeah.
Ain't it, man?
Yeah, man.
Now
Come on, man.
where I was first introduced to you was in some documentaries, Pimps Up, Hoes Down, and American Pimp. You were in both of them. How did that work? Like, because they came out around the same time, and you were probably one of the few that were in both of those documentaries that were really influential.
Well, the thing about it is, it's always good to get knowledge in any particular field. When you see somebody doing something that you wish you could, or you don't know how they done that, and like it's the oldest profession, been going on since the beginning of the time, and it's gonna continue to go on.
When cotton and corn won't sell, pussy will.
Hey, just plenty. Oh, no question about it. And see, the understanding about it, that those that really ditch it is the ones that support the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is the doctors, the lawyers, the
one that look down on it is your best customer.
Well, you don't. The pimp don't support the gang. He received from the gang. game.
Right.
So you know what I mean? Who give her the money?
Yeah, right.
See, they even take the money back once
Yep.
they have them in court.
Yep.
It just go in circles.
It's a circle. It's
Yeah,
reciprocal
it
is what
just
they
go in
call that.
circles. And here's another incident, you know what I mean? Being with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
When my mother, she went to the grave, sort of fearful. You know, she heard about the Suge Knight thing, and
Right.
what's going on over there. And then she said, oh, he with, you know, Snoop Dogg and everything. She couldn't understand it and everything. She just said, be careful, son.
Right.
And see, that was a journey that I didn't know that I was pushed in, that I had to stand by there.
Right.
And then...
You had covering over Big Snoop.
Well, and then the journey was so amazing for him to say, man, you changed my life. You saved my life. This is documented, wrote in, you know, books and magazines and different things. So that wasn't in vain. So I know my journey is not just for myself now, but to make others aware and enlightening to change, that it must be changed. You cannot stay the same and exist in a world that's steady evolving.
Right. And you tell some great stories, man. And you said you was in the Hollywood scene back in the day. You got I need to hear one of them good Bishop stories.
Okay,
of like
let me tell you
was
this
running
one.
the track. Go ahead and give it to me. man.
No, dig. This was the world back in the days in Hollywood in the 70s, and rock and roll ran it. So most of the rockers, they used to leave town, and a couple of Caucasian friends I knew, and
Right.
they would leave them their house, and the rockers would stay gone for like months, man.
Wow.
Yeah, and we would just party, like in the hills and mansions and all of this different thing. They just no rockers. They just wanted somebody to babysit the house.
And you take care for him.
Well, I would, I knew the guys that would do it for me. We were friends, and man, and I'm talking about it was like the hippie era. I mean, love was everywhere. I mean,
And you supply the love.
I mean, you just have fun. I
Right.
mean, you walk and you see somebody, you just hug, it just become a part of you. It was just so much love and understanding, and that's why I can't understand. But the change is just so much hate today.
And back in the day in Hollywood, it wasn't that way.
Well, it was more love. I mean, people cared about people, and they cared about themselves. I mean, this generation don't have no regards for life or other lives.
So we did.
And so it's hard to be able to survive in a system like
You got to
that.
change that, man, and that's why I got you here today. In closing, I need some good game. So just some Archbishop real talk, a couple of colloquialisms, a couple of little lines that you can go ahead that these young people can live by. Go ahead and lay it on them one time.
Well, I'd say the first thing you can do if you want to start living right and get a true understanding is say what you mean and mean what you say.
Okay.
And that'll be less stress on me, less stress on you. We'll know where we're at. We'll know what we're doing. We'll know where we're going because we'll have an understanding.
Yeah.
See, everybody don't have understanding. They don't know. Understanding is the best thing that you can have because then you'll be able to think more civilized.
Yeah.
It's not a civilized understanding out there in the street, and there's no leadership. I am so disappointed in my hometown of Chicago, known to be gangster pimp, and I mean all that they could talk about now is murder.
Yeah, that ain't what it's about.
No, and it's not about the whole city because you can go on one side of the street. You got people walking dogs and, feeding dogs, and you go on the other side of the street, it's complete chaos.
Right.
So somebody don't care about one part of the street.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
See, it's got to be a whole Chicago for that thing to work out.
Absolutely.
And then the leadership, man, we used to have some strong leaders like the Reverend Jesse Jackson and, the Farrakhan's and things, you know what I mean? But they shut their voice down.
Yeah.
They only
so we
let
need
them.
some new leaders.
We need new leaders, and the only way we're gonna get them
You gotta
is
lace them with that game, though.
yeah. But see, they got to want the game. See, it's people that are being chosen You know what I mean? It ain't for everybody. You know what I mean? Many are called,
but few are chosen.
These the ones that step up. See, that's the way I felt in the pimp game. I never worried about getting no girl. I said just wait, because I know the right one gonna come along. It might be seven.
Don't chase
it may
them.
be
Let
7
them come
years.
to you.
Hey man, it's best when you get chose. I always said, don't go to the one you like. Go to the one that like you.
That's
come on,
good.
man.
Make your next move your best move, and everything will be smooth.
And then I understand where you're coming from about this younger generation, because they so suicidal today.
Yeah,
they
man,
so much under depression. You know, they under stress. You know what I mean? They talking about the PS stress and all of this. A young person, why are you stressed out? First, you out of your lane if you stressed out.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be stressed at this certain age, especially if you already staying with your mother. Your bills paid, player.
Yeah, exactly.
The best part has been conquered.
There it is.
Now all you got to do is figure out how to get you a job or how to survive. And I want you to know one thing. I know you thinking you can go out there and sell drugs and make it. But I tell you, I've been around the game for over 50 years, and I don't know a happy drug dealer today. They might have had the money, they might have had the materialistic thing, but they didn't have the peace.
Pretty happy.
Well, Jay-Z is a past here. You know, you have to know when to stop. You
gotta let the game go.
You got to know when to, like Kenny Rogers said, what you got to know when to fold, when to hold, when to run.
This is Kenny Rogers, from the great Pimp, Kenny Rogers. So man, we appreciate you dropping that game on. We definitely gonna have you back. I'm definitely a scholar of your book from Pimp Stick to the Pulpit. And you know, we're going to have you on the Morning Blessings each and every morning, so I appreciate that.
Well, I'm looking to do that because I definitely want to bless your listeners. I sure got a prayer for them when they ready to hear.
There it is.
You know.
There it is, Archbishop. Close Conversations with Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon Mornings.